Hello, everybody who's watching this live, who finds this stream later on. Um, this one is a little more complicated than the usual nonsense that I talk about and uh, poke fun at. Uh, and it's not even one that's particularly fun or funny because someone has behaved like a complete and utter prick. And part of me is thinking that, maybe he was doing a comedy bit that went a little too far. Uh, the other part of me is thinking that, as the title says, that not all sociopaths are evil, but this particular sociopath is. I've also been kind of struggling with how to arrange um, the various clips and things that I'm going to sort of cover. So I think I will do it. I've come to the conclusion I'm going to do this backwards. Um, and hey, Cheeky Monkey, hey Kelly. Um, I don't know if it's going to be quite so intense, but we'll see. I'm going to start backwards. I'm going to start with well. Let me first just explain, give you a brief recap up front. Pretend social activist and journalist Jose Maria DeCastro recently did a video in which he covered a uh, police shooting. A shooting where a situation where an off-duty police officer shot another off-duty police officer who happened to be his supervisor, who had been sexually harassing him for at least a year. The officer in question says that he believes that he was about to be raped by the officer that he shot. And Mr. DeCastro appeared to find this extremely hilarious. And then, of course, him being him, he then tried to backpedal when he realized that, oh, people didn't enjoy me being an asshole. Uh, Again, I'm doing this live, so I'm going to be kind of monkeying around with things. So I'll make mistakes, but it's not a recut and remixed video with fades and all sorts of things like the thing DeCastro did. But I'm going to start with him uh, giving sort of an explanation, an excuse, an apology, however you want to look at it. Hey, Frank Baird, welcome to a not very fun live stream. Unlike what I try to do. I try to be humorous, I try to be light, but this one, not so much. And Kelly, hope it won't be as intense as last night, but we'll find out. And I need to pick up the pace a bit because I literally only have about an hour, 90 minutes. Yeah, and Liz is right if this gets too upsetting. All right, Kelly, fair enough. I understand. But let's start with Mr. DeCastro explaining himself, and then we'll go back and we'll see what it is that he is talking about. And then you can see whether the way he's presenting it reflects the reality. So let's see here. Let's set this up. There we go. And yeah, see you later, Kelly, when it's something a little more fun. So here is the Playboy himself. You know what? Let me get rid of that. I keep forgetting to turn that off. There we go. All right. This is Mr. DeCastro. Again, I'm doing this a little bit backwards, but we'll set it up with him explaining.
So let me say something about a video I released this morning. I released a video this morning about one gay cop who was hitting on the other gay cop, and that copper was clearly sexually assaulted. And so in the video I released this morning, after I pretty much prove that the man's been sexually assaulted, I then cut and I show a 60-second clip of Jordan Peterson, who says, if I'm going to encroach on someone and I'm going to do it sophisticated, I'm going to move 2 or 3 millimeters in the direction they don't want to go, and then I'm going to stop until they complain. And then as soon as they stop complaining, I'm going to push again 2 or 3 millimeters. And then pretty soon, you're 90 yards back from where you started. So I thought that that one little clip of Jordan Peterson showing how the man. So let me just lay it out. These guys had engaged in some sort of sexual relationship at some kind, whether that just be light, whatever they're doing. And then the other cop, the superior cop, began to push his will on the rookie officer, the rookie copper. He's not an officer. There's nothing about him that's officer, that's respectable. He joined an evil organization. So, so, so with that being said, I didn't articulate that my position is that it was sexual assault and that the supervisor cop should be charged with sexual assault. And it came off as though I was just joking about it or laughing, and I wasn't. I wouldn't have put the Jordan Peterson clip in there that showed that you encroach on someone 2 or 3 millimeters at a time. So these guys had engaged in some sort of sexual thing, and then the superior cop, the one who was in charge of him, he pushed it too far, and the guy was afraid he was going to be raped, and so he shot the other cop 3 times. I released that video this morning. I took it down. I took it down because I don't care if you're gay, straight, trans, male, female, short, tall, fat, black, ugly, skinny, yellow, pink, blue. I don't care what color you are. Nobody should be able to sexual assault you. Nobody should be able to impose their sexual will on you when you're saying no, stop, no, stop. So I took the video down because that's not that I didn't articulate it very well. And I talked to one of my friends today and I said, man, I didn't articulate that very well today. I'm taking the video right down. I actually was trying to be up, but I'm working like 25-hour clips, like 20 hours, 25 hours, and then I'll sleep for 10 or 12 hours, and then I'll work for 16, 20 hours, and then I'll.
All right, then he just goes into excuses. And no, this one actually, I'm just playing it off of his channel. So no, that's still up there. But so that's him. You know, he wasn't laughing at it. He thought it was very serious, the sexual harassment thing. He just didn't articulate it very well. So let's see what he didn't articulate very well, shall we? I was also going to play just the Chilito infested clip from WAVY, the news report that Chilito thought was very hilarious. Oh, look, there he is. That is the face of a man who is taking this very seriously, obviously, yeah. But let me see if I can find the place. Well, let's actually just play his introduction, shall we?
Right now, before the video begins, Write down in the comments why you think Copper A shot Copper B. Why did this cop shoot this cop 3 times? 3 times. 3 times. Because you shoot someone once, just go through it, right? Pow! Oh man, it shocks you. You shot somebody. Ah, right? Unless that.
Yep, he certainly seems like he's taking sexual harassment very seriously. He certainly wasn't making fun of it. Certainly wasn't making light of it. He should have covered up the herpes sore a little better, but other than that, so I am just, like I said, I'm going to skip playing the unadulterated news piece, and so I'm going to hop right into Chilito playing it on his now deleted video, and see if I can zoom in, because I can play the actual news clip later if people want to see it, but the important thing, what the heck? Why won't it?
What about the moments just before it?
Okay. So the thing we want to focus on is Mr. DeCastro down in the corner, taking this oh so seriously. Yeah, well, that the thing I showed was his part of his explanation from the other day. And now I'm going to see if I can make this larger, but it wasn't going to let me. So yeah, I may have to play. I may play the original news report if people need to see that too. But let me. Why is this not doing what I need it to do? Okay.
Is facing chart.
I'm making myself bigger, which I don't want to do. I want to make that screen bigger. Oh, there we go, finally. No. No. This is very strange. All right, let's try this again. This is why I probably should record these things rather than just hop on here. But yeah, actually, I misread that. He is still making excuses. And for God's sakes, maybe we'll just have to let Chilito be little Chilito, but I don't know why this won't go bigger for me. Let's try this. Let's see if this will do it. Nope, it will not cooperate with me. Okay, so the important thing is down here in the corner. It's Mr. DeCastro not making light of this situation and not taking joy from it either. So let's watch him not take joy.
Charges in connection with that January shooting, which seriously hurt Sergeant Christopher Gibson. Investigators initially said the two officers got into a fight after a night of drinking. But as 10 Your Size Julie Millay learned, the shooting might have been about much more than a bar fight.
Yeah,
Julie?
Tom and Amy, investigators simply said the two officers involved in the shooting were known to each other. Now we're learning what that might really mean. The alleged shooter, Michael Rusk, says he pulled the trigger in self-defense because of unwanted advances by his sergeant. We're about to share exclusive surveillance video and the 911 call from the shooting, which we played for Michael Rusk's family for the first time. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear it.
For the first time, Jason Rusk is hearing the 911 call his son made in the early morning hours of January 25th.
I shot Sergeant Gibson. Do what? I shot Sergeant Gibson.
Okay, let me just back up a little bit and pay very close attention to the man who is not making fun of this situation He is down here in this corner over here. If you can see my cursor, you probably can't, but pay close attention to him not making fun of someone who, keep in mind, this cop shot the fellow who was sexually harassing him. And then he called 911 and took responsibility for what he'd done. And it sounds like from the actual full recording, not only did he call 911, but he also appears that he's trying to do, oh my gosh, first aid. Whatever it is when you're chest compressions. I'm blanking now. But anyhow, watch Mr. DeCastro being so serious about this and not mocking people.
In the early morning hours of January 25th.
I shot Dorothy Gibson. Do what? I shot Sergeant Gibson. I told the government, they're missing on me. Is he breathing? He's getting cut out.
James City County Police Officer Michael Rusk called 911 after he allegedly shot his superior officer, Sergeant Christopher Gibson, outside a Williamsburg bar.
Thank you, Liz. I do not know why that was out of my head. I'm hoping you guys can hear me over the groundskeeper outside, who decided to go to work in the afternoon rather than the evening, making a racket. I mean, rather than the morning. Yeah, but not right now. Oh, you do? And yes, his face is eminently punchable. All right, let's keep going here. Now I think it sounds like they've moved away. And let's watch Mr. DeCastro again, taking this actually tragic all-around situation very seriously.
The two had been drinking together. Video given exclusively to 10 on Your Side shows the two officers before this happened.
I shot it with right arm. Okay, I need you to take a deep breath for me, okay? Is he breathing? Is he breathing?
The 911 call goes on for just over 5 minutes. That's when responding officers show up to find Gibson had been shot 3 times, seriously hurt in his stomach and shoulder. Court documents show Gibson told officers Rusk shot him after a verbal argument. But Rusk, his dad, and his lawyers say it was much more than that.
It started to get creepy.
Jason Rusk says his son told him about unwanted attention he got from his superior officer leading up to the shooting.
Yep, that's the long and short of it.
To others on the force.
There was a year's worth of grooming that had taken place.
Rusk says his son is the victim of unwanted sexual advances and had been for a long time.
Extremely inappropriate touching, stalking, the grooming. The previous to the incident assaults.
We reached out to Gibson several times to ask him about these allegations. He declined to speak with us. We also requested from JCCPD a record of any complaints filed against Gibson during his time there. We were denied. The video shows the officers at the bar prior to the shooting. You can see them sitting across from each other at the start. Then you'll see Gibson move in to sit next to Rusk. Gibson reaches for Rusk's hand under the table, which seems to be met with hesitation from the younger officer. Then, just about an hour before the shooting, the two are seen leaving together. After Gibson puts his hand on Rusk's shoulder, you see Rusk forcefully push him off and put a finger in his face before walking away. We don't...
Okay, so you push someone away. You tell them to whatever. What does that say to a normal human being? And hey, Dan, welcome. Well, to me, it says, stay the fuck away from me. But I'm not going to go through all of Chilito's garbage, but I will go to that and see what he has to say about that. So Brick House Tavern, let's continue him not taking joy in this situation and not making fun of it.
Don't know what happened next, but after the shooting, Rusk makes this claim to the 911 dispatcher.
Okay, did you guys see that asshole in the corner? I want to make sure you guys see the asshole in the corner.
If our client was a female, this case would be drastically different.
Rusk's lawyer says the video and 911 call make a clear case for self-defense.
I think it'll show that certain steps weren't taken that needed to be taken.
The attorney says those steps, like looking into Rusk's claims of unwanted sexual advances, could have prevented what Rusk's dad calls a tragedy, which will affect his son for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and he's sitting there grinning and chewing on his herpes sore because he's not taking any kind of joy from this situation at all, as he told us earlier. Or is he? So I guess the question is, what are you going to believe? Your lying eyes and ears, or Chilito when he tried to make his explanation?
He told people from the get-go that he was sexually assaulted. He said no, and he kept on. He said no, and he kept on. If I had a daughter in the same position, we wouldn't even be here. We wouldn't have an innocent person fighting for their freedom.
You caught him again there, right? As the guy saying would not have an innocent person fighting for their freedom. Innocent in the sense that he was responding to, well, the aggressor, frankly. And again, asshole in the corner laughed.
Williamsburg officers are investigating the shooting. They had no comment on this story.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah. So let's continue with him not taking joy in this, breaking it down step by step, shall we?
Because there's a lot going on here
Oh.
that you may not have considered.
I'm sure.
Let's get right into it.
About the moments just before a James City County police officer shot his sergeant outside of Williamsburg Bar.
BITCH.
Okay, here we go.
Screaming and crying on the phone.
So this is this.
Time. Jason Rusk is hearing.
So here's Chilito not taking joy and not making fun of this. All right. The thing that annoys me the most about this. Oh, look, I'm being Chilito. Hey, press the like button, Playboys. Jesus. He apparently has never had to deal with people who are panicking, people who are in shock. Because if he had, even as a sociopath like him, with no empathy, no ability to feel any kind of, no empathy, no ability to feel anything for anybody other than himself, even he should recognize the state that the person making the 911 call is in, just based on what's going on. And actually, the people criticizing, I've heard some criticism of the 911 operator. I get the impression this is a very small town. I don't know if they're used to calls like that, so that could be why he was behaving the way he was behaving. But anyhow, Chilito clearly has no idea what someone who is, in a complete panic sounds like.
In the 911 call his son made in the early morning hours of January 25th.
I hate to say it, but hey, Dad, where was the guidance when your son came to you and said, I think I want to sign up to be a pig?
I got Dorothy Gibson.
This guy's in charge of us. The guy screaming and crying on the phone.
Hey, Sergeant Gibson was in charge of the guy, asshole. You need to, All right. I wasn't going to get mad, but I'm getting mad because this is so absolutely disgusting. Herbie's infected troll doll.
In charge.
Do what? I shot Sergeant Gibson. I told the government, okay? They're missing on me.
Does that guy not sound like a little bitch?
Well, maybe, okay, I'll grant him this. He is a subject matter expert in being a little bitch, so maybe he's right, maybe he's not, but he is a subject matter expert on this one topic.
Is he breathing? His guts fell out.
His guts fell out? It does say later he was hurt in the stomach, so maybe his guts did get blowed out.
James City County Police Officer Michael Rusk
His guts got blowed out?
called 911 after he allegedly shot his superior officer, Sergeant Christopher Gibson, outside a Williamsburg bar, where the two had been drinking together.
Yes, Dan, I absolutely agree, which is something that Chilito has clearly no experience with, and clearly, yeah, he's just a fucking idiot. Oh, yeah, this actually, the other video that I took a clip from, maybe I'll find that clip too, but let's just finish this out. And I'll keep my temper, I promise.
Okay, so you already know what the dad says is that it's been going on for a year. Why is he going out drinking with the guy who sexually harassed him?
It's a guy who is in. Oh, wait, that goes back to. I know I shouldn't have tried to be too clever here. Because it's a guy that's abusing his power. There's all kinds of explanations for this, Chili, but you are too stupid. Yeah, and what's funny is he then mocks a guy from the South at some point, I think coming up here, for saying y'all. This is in North Carolina, I think, this county that this has happened in.
Because they don't have any other friends. They can't go out with anybody else. Because inevitably, if you go out with a group of 3 or 4 guys, one will say to you, dude, do you actually do that to people? Do you put people in torture cuffs?
I have a number of friends in the sheriff's department, and they go out with us non-sheriffs all the time. They socialize with us. They go to parties with us. They go to bars with us. No, who doesn't have any friends, Chilito? You know who doesn't have a social life? And plus, well, you don't have a social life. And plus, it's not uncommon for people to socialize with folks in their line of work. It's normal to hang out with people in your line of work. It's normal to not hang out with people in your line of work based on your shared interests. But since you have no friends, you would not understand that.
Video given exclusively to 10 on Your Side shows the two officers before this happened.
Okay, I need you to take a deep breath for me, okay? Is he breathing? Is he breathing?
Once again, he is not laughing at the situation. He is not mocking this victim of sexual harassment who finally lashed out. Clearly, he is, nothing like that, right? That's what he wants us to believe, yeah? That he just didn't state his position clearly. Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah, that's what it was. Uh-huh.
It was the two officers before this happened.
Okay, I need you to take a deep breath for me. Okay?
Oh, West Virginia. Okay.
Is he breathing?
The 911 call goes on for just over 5 minutes. That's when responding officers show up to find Gibson had been shot 3 times, seriously hurt in his stomach and shoulder. Court documents show Gibson told officers Rusk shot him after a verbal argument.
I thought the news station covering this was in North Carolina. I must have gotten my information wrong. All right. Let me see how I need to see how I got that so darn wrong. Just give me 1 second, people. We'll get back to Chilito not making light of this situation. In a moment here, while I just make sure that. All right, let me see. Okay, so. All right. James City County is where this happened. He got shot in a outside of a Williamsburg bar. So where's James City? Is that where I went wrong? Yeah, that's Virginia. I don't know where I got North Carolina from. I am a complete idiot. But at least I'll admit it. So yeah, I apologize. That was my mistake. I don't know why I thought North Carolina. Yep. I was wrong about North Carolina. Don't even know where that came from, other than out of my ass.
But Rusk, his dad, and his lawyers say it was much more than that.
And hey, Hank. Okay, that could have been where I made the mistake. Actually, let me just finish this out, because I think more not having fun with this is coming up.
It started to get creepy.
Jason Rusk says his son told him about unwanted attention he got from his superior officer leading up to the shooting, and that he had reported it to others on the force.
Why can't any of these people just say sexual harassment? Is it because it's a small hick town, or I don't know what the deal is. It's sexual harassment.
Okay, well, there he says it, and he recognizes that. Then why is it so funny to him? Why was he laughing before? So he kind of does express his stance here. So what is it that he thinks he's clarifying with the other? Several people have a clean copy. If you want, you can email me, and I can get it to you. Other people can get it to you. Because I think everyone's caught on to the fact that he likes to bury his the signs when he forgets to pretend that he is not a total sociopath and just a complete and vile human being. Well, yeah, that is true. I suppose. But I don't like. Again, no editor, both literally and metaphorically, and so no one was there to catch my screw up.
The year's worth of grooming that had taken place.
Rusk says his son is the.
I mean, any of my friends in West Hollywood want to take a look at this guy? Let me know if you think he's a sweetheart. He looks sweet to me. That's all I'm saying.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, he's not making light of the situation. He's not making fun of it. Nothing like that at all whatsoever. He thinks sexual harassment and apparently attempted rape is wrong. Clearly he thinks that's the case.
Man.
The victim of unwanted sexual advances and had been for a long time.
Extremely inappropriate touching, stalking, the grooming, the previous to the incident, assaults.
Extremely inappropriate touching. And then there's a video of them sitting across from each other at a bar.
Well, I'm just about done with it, Hank, if you're still here. Because, yeah, I'm finding myself getting more irritated than I thought I was going to get. Just the basic point was just to show that his beginning to end. He does have a bashful face. There's no question about that. Is herpes bloodborne? I don't recall it. Don't tell my bosses. Even I did my sort of annual renewal of the first aid courses and everything like that, and we had to go through the various illnesses and what's bloodborne, what isn't, and I've already forgotten. But yeah, if in case it is, you're going to punch him in the face, make sure you wear gloves, just in case. In case you have a cut. We'd hate to have him transfer whatever disease that he's carrying onto you. All right, let's see here. Yeah, look at that. He certainly is taking this whole thing very seriously. He's not making fun at all.
Advances could have prevented what Rusk's dad calls.
So it's definitely sexual harassment because it's a superior, even someone you work with who's hitting on you sexually.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Rusk, I don't know which team he bats for both teams, and that's fine. I'm just saying that picture with the wide mouth bass with the hot pink tank top. I'm just saying.
What is he just saying? I don't understand. He should have explained that one, huh? When he was going to tell us how he's not making light of this.
Tragedy, which will affect his son for the rest of his life.
He told people from the get-go that he was sexually assaulted. He said no, and he kept on. He said no, and he kept on. If I had a daughter in the same position, we wouldn't even be here.
Hopefully you talk your daughter out of becoming a pig. Hopefully.
So the whole, the reason this is so funny to him apparently is that because this was a police officer doing another police officer. Occupation shouldn't matter to it, but they do to assholes like this. So let's see. I'm gonna skip ahead. Oh yeah, this is where he's mocking the 911 call again, and we've already seen that. So this apparently.
I just don't understand how it gets to the point where
things get to terrible places one tiny step at a time. If I encroach.
So this is this is somehow his here at the end here, I guess, where I don't know what he's trying to say. That he trying to make us forget the previous 20 minutes where he is just constantly laughing and making fun of this all-around tragic situation.
If I encroach on you and I'm sophisticated about it, I'm going to encroach 2 millimeters. I'm going to encroach right to the point where you start to protest. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to wait. Then you're going to calm down. Then I'm going to encroach again, right to the point where you protest. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to do that forever. And before you know it, you're going to be back 3 miles from where you started, and you'll have done it one step at a time. And then you'll go, oh, how'd I get here? And the answer was, well, I pushed you a little farther than you should have gone, and you agreed. And so then I pushed you a little farther than you should have gone again, and you agreed.
I'm one of these people that I don't care if you're gay or straight or trans. I don't really have any kind of hang-ups about any of that stuff. This is just sexual harassment. I feel like this guy here was getting hit on by this guy here, and this guy didn't like this guy. And so he told him to stop. He shot him 3 times. Interesting. We'll talk into litigators.
How is that interesting? And how does 2 minutes of that make up for you laughing through the whole previous 20 minutes of this? Again, like I said, it's tragic all around. So why does he laugh at that? Well, maybe it has something to do with this. I think this is the clip that will explain a few things about the psychopathy going on here. No, hey, okay, let's not go down that road again, please, people. We just got her unbanned. Let's see if this is the one.
So, and let me listen. I don't care. I don't like cops. I don't respect cops. If I'm mean or abrasive or rude to them, yes, I hate cops. You could just replay it over and over. I hate cops. I don't care. If you like cops and you want to say, oh, not all cops are bad, get the flock out of here. I don't care if you like cops. I don't like them. I'm not going to be nice to cops. I don't respect cops. I don't respect the institution of policing, or they call themselves law enforcers. When I'm governor, I'm going to change it. It's going to be changed. I'm telling you. This is my life's mission. You can't stop me. Oh, he's being mean to the cops. Man, keep on posting that. I'm being really mean to them because I'm going to change the entire system from top to bottom. I'm going to change the entire system of copping in America. It's all going to be changed. You're looking at the guy who's going to change it, and that's why you all are so afraid of me.
Okay, so in theory, there's 18 people here, maybe more. I never can tell. And let's do this fun little YouTube game everybody does. Put a 1 in the chat if you're afraid of this herpes-infected troll doll. Sorry, that was disrespectful of me. Put a 1 in the chat if you're afraid of Chilito DeCastro. And yeah, there's all kinds of partly why I wanted to play that clip for 3 reasons. Sorry, what is it? 3 reasons. I'm going to do it the Chilito way. 3 reasons. 1, to show why it is that he thinks it's all right for him to laugh and mock that tragic situation of those 2 cops. Oh yeah, by the way, put a Dan has a right of it. Put a 0 in the chat if you're not afraid of Chilito. 1 if you're afraid of just so we can get an accurate poll here. Thank you, Dan, for correcting me on that one. So yes, one, to show why it is that he thinks it's okay to laugh at a guy who has been abused by his supervisor, finally snapped, and is now in shock and panicking. This might be the first time he's actually fired a weapon at a person and actually hit that person. Does Chilito even have an idea what that feels like? Probably not. I mean, I hope he never learns, because, well, actually, maybe he wouldn't feel bad about it, because he does seem to be that sick and twisted and evil. I don't know. But reason one was just to show that. Reason two is, I saw it in the side chat, someone mentioned this, that when he was so stupid that he got himself arrested in Nevada, when he was told by a traffic cop, you're welcome to stand back and record, but don't be in the middle or interfering with my witness. And Chilito refused to step back. Therefore, Chilito got him, and he just was being an asshole and got himself arrested. While in the back of the police car, he was going on about how, well, I just want to bridge the gap between the civilians, between the public and the police, and that's all that I'm about. I just want to have a conversation. I just want to sit down and talk. Will you sit down and talk with me? Please don't take me to jail. I don't want to go to jail, even though the officer said, hey, if you stop behaving like an idiot, it'll be an in-and-out booking. Period. The end. But you're under arrest. There's no way out of this. Can you just unarrest me, Mr. Officer? Please. Yeah, other people have showed that clip. You should find it. It's over, I think, on Welsh News Network somewhere. I think it's part 3 of the Chilito arrest video. Yeah, he goes on and on about wanting to bridge the gap. Same thing with an officer where he is doing an audit. A couple of guys being arrested for public drinking or public intoxication or something. He walks up, behaves like an idiot. One of the guy's friends comes up, and because Chilito is being obnoxious toward the people being detained as well as the officers, and the guy that comes up to him doesn't take that very kindly. Notice how, if in that film, how Chilito is clinging to the cops, and he's going on about, I want to bridge the gap between police officers and the public because I'm a journalist. And compare that to this that we just had right here. So, was he lying then, or is he lying now? Probably then. Or he just says whatever the moment he feels like the moment requires him to say. And the third reason for that clip was, as has been mentioned, yeah, like I said, it's not my usual fun stuff, and I apologize for that. But I think his behavior needs to be, and in this specific case, his behavior toward this situation needs to be put out there in as many places as it possibly can be. Because once again, he's trying to bury his obnoxious, asshole-ish, in this case, I would even say downright evil behavior. I think I used to say I would have ignored this guy if he wasn't trying to abuse the court systems in order to silence critics, and otherwise just being an asshole that is very much in opposition to the open and free exchange of ideas as well as free speech and just the most important parts of, in my opinion, the most important parts of the First Amendment. I would have ignored this jackass completely. Just come on here, read poetry that everybody hates, or comic books or something. Talk about comic books, but no, he had to start suing his critics, and that takes me back to the third reason for this. Apparently, he still has fantasies about being able to win political office. How? The thumbnail for this video has 2 quotes from him on it. Either one of those quotes, his opponents just need to, put them on a poster or put them in an ad with his face on it, and that right there is going to cost him. This video of him laughing and having fun at the expense of, well, not 1 but 2 victims, actually. I mean, as vile as that sergeant appears to be, he still got shot. The cop who shot him and who was on the 9, again, I have to point out, he called 911. He reported what had happened. He reported what he did even while he was freaking out. That says that, to me, that we're looking at a decent human being who was abused by his superior. But anyhow, that little bit right there, Chilito, if you come across this, you will never hold public office anywhere in the United States of America. The internet is forever. Your behavior is forever. That little bit of Jordan Peterson at the end of that video and your little disclaimer, that in no way balances out all of the nonsense that came before. It's not nonsense. It's just vile. And yeah, he that same video, this no cop sucking thing, he goes on about how he's going to be put, first, I'll never be in the dungeon alive. They'll never put me in the dungeon. You never catch me alive, coppers. And then he goes on about how, well, if I get put in the dungeon, I'm going to be a leader. And I'm going to rally people. So, and I'm not going to go digging for it because it's just too stupid, but he is lost in a world of his own, in his own imagination. Okay, let's see. Did I play this clip? Let me see what this clip is. I pulled a couple of them, and I can't remember whether I've done this one or not, but let's see what he has to say here as we get close to the wrap up on this. Unless somebody wants to come up, and I've been ranting now for 45, 50 minutes. I guess I should have done this a while back in case other people have something to say. And I apologize for failing to do this earlier. Okay, why is this not? But yeah, there's a they want to come up, and yeah, that they would, especially if you're going to be running. Supposedly, he has an address in California, and that's his residence. It would be. I think I'm going senile. Oh, Nevada now is where he has his supposed residence. Well, I hope if Nevada's anything like Washington State, hope he gets his driver's license switched over to Nevada within a month. If he doesn't, and he gets pulled over for being stupid again, it's going to be some pretty hefty fines. But let's see what this clip is.
If you signed up to be a cop, you are a bad person. If you have
yes.
a son or a daughter or a mother or a father or a brother or a sister who's a cop, you tell them. There's people on the internet. Now, I don't know. Maybe I don't agree with it. Maybe I do. There's people on the internet saying that if you join an evil organization, that you're evil. Is that I mean, is that fair to say? If you join an evil organization, you're evil.
So I pulled this clip primarily for if any of Chilito's fans come along and they're out there. If you're out there right now and you're a fan of Mr. DeCastro, hi, how are you? And if you subscribe to his channel, okay. But if you are a member of his channel, a paying member of his channel, you have joined an evil organization. You are as evil as the herpes-infected troll doll that is over there next to me. Wrong direction. There, next to me. Yeah. By your idol's own statement. Well, oh no. Oh, he's not saying he believes this. Is that his new thing, to think that's some sort of disclaimer? Since he tried to pull that with to negate half an hour worth of mocking a sorry, exaggerated slightly, 20 minutes worth of mocking a victim because of his job. So yeah, that's why I pulled that clip. According to the most powerful force in the universe, the most brilliant constitutional law scholar to ever have walked the face of the earth, if you subscribe, if you are a member of the Delete Laws channel or Delete Laws Clips Reloaded, you have joined an evil organization and you are an evil person. There's just no two ways about it. We got it from the genius himself. And I think we played this bit.
Sleep for 3 or 4 hours. And
oh yeah, that's where he's trying to excuse himself. All right, Dave, thank you for coming by. This is wrapping up right now anyway. Because yeah, I gotta do things. Unless someone has something to add or something interesting to say. I have no lead out to this. This was just me feeling the need to rant. And again, to make sure that this is out there and available in as many places as possible. This being the constitutional law scholar showing his true self. Yeah. So, plus this is probably a good place to stop since I'm now losing all ability to speak, apparently. He has 10 to 30 days to get his driver's license changed, and a business address doesn't count for residential address in most states. That actually is also true. Okay, so he's living in Nevada now. So skipped out on a California warrant, I suppose. That's just speculation. I'm certainly not trying to defame the most powerful force in the universe. But so he's living in Nevada now. Huh. Why, yes. Yes, of course I am. Yeah. Whoa, I am making a mess. Uh, yeah, that's actually what popped into my head when he was, you know, that's why I made the crack about warrants. Um, but when he doesn't show up for his court appearance in June in Las Vegas, then what? Oh, and I guess I have a habit of putting things in the wrong place. I could have sworn that his encounter with Nevada police was in Henderson County, but of course it's not. It is, let's see, Clark County, of course, not Henderson County. And you'd think I've watched enough episodes of CSI to know that it's Clark County and not Henderson. Yeah. Living in Vegas, in Nevada. Yeah, that's a very good question. Plus, how long it's going to take him to start crying about how the trolls are stalking him. I'm being stalked by trolls. They know where I live. Well, yeah, because you keep telling them where you live. That seems to be something you don't want to do if you want to make yourself a public figure and a public spectacle and still want to be broadcasting from a secret location. Well, I wouldn't mind. I don't necessarily mind people who are, personally, I don't necessarily mind people who are uh, lily livered or cowardly or whatever. Um, what I don't like are people who treat everyone else as though they're as if they're stupid by, here's something really obvious, you can look at it, it is it is absolutely it's absolutely what it appears to be, and any reasonable person would say, yep, that's Mr. DeCastro having fun with this very tragic situation. And then Mr. DeCastro will say, oh, no, 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 no. I wasn't laughing at the situation. Oh, no, not me, not at all. Who are you going to believe? Your lying eyes and ears or me? That kind of person I have nothing but contempt for. I have nothing but contempt for people who who don't have the mental fortitude to face their critics, to deal with their critics, but instead has to bully them into silence or threaten them into silence or try to sue them into silence. Oh, yes, well, that is certainly correct. But I kept saying that he was in. I, I had a friend I was talking with Chilito about, and I kept saying that he got in trouble in Henderson while saying that it was in Vegas. So I must have sounded like a complete idiot to her. But she's also the one that corrected me when I was saying that that I thought he was a narcissist. She said from everything that she'd heard, she described him as a sociopath, and we went down all of the various requirements for being a sociopath, and he checks every box, every single box. No, he does not. Well, yeah. Yeah, it could be. I think he's. I think the sociopath status is beyond tendencies, but again, that's just armchair armchair psychoanalysis, which of course is very unethical. But fortunately, I'm not a psychologist. I don't have to be ethical. Well, I am at the end of really what I wanted to rant about. So I think I'm just going to pack it up here. It is sunny out today, which is rare for Washington State. Uh-oh, I just revealed where I live. Oh no. Oh, actually, I still have 10 people watching, so maybe I can see whether you guys tell me whether it's a good or a bad idea. I am considering, since it's pointed out to me that you can get dunce caps on Amazon, I'm thinking about ordering myself a dunce cap. So I can, maybe someday if Chilito comes by, show him the difference between a dunce and a dunce cap. So people let me know if they think I should get myself a dunce cap, please. And just leave the comments in the comments down below or what have you. And if you don't necessarily say enjoyed today's stream, but if you were intrigued by it, click the like button and whatever else. And oh yes, that would be a new video. That would definitely be a new video. Okay, I'm seeing yeses with lots of exclamation points behind. So yeah, I could try to do that, but I am accident prone, and chances are it would end with with a trip to the emergency room after I stab myself with the scissors. But we'll see. We'll see. All right, I'm seeing enough yeses, and I'll definitely think about it. And yes, definitely a video. Okay, guys, thank you again for coming out, and I will see you all next time. Have a good one. And yeah, hopefully some of you will get out to enjoy the sunshine.